Hey everybody, it's Thursday. This is Comic Book Hangover, and it's time for another round of comic book reviews and my weekly haul. Also, the announcement of what series I'm going to do for my full run Friday, which is going to go live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's get into the books that I picked up last week. There's a couple of them that I wanted to talk about. So let's just start with the shortest one here. This is going to be Skybound 10, issue 2. It's a celebration of the 10th anniversary of Skybound, an imprint of Image. The only reason why I picked this up is because it's got a Stillwater story. It's a short story. It's only maybe like 5-6 pages long. As you can see, this is it's a square bound book, so it's kind of a thicker book. It introduces the new character, an older man, also a boy. So I guess it kind of introduces two characters. And this little boy, he looked familiar, but I'm not quite sure if it's who I think it is. But you get a new character, which their introduction does kind of add something new to the world of Stillwater. In particular, the fact that it's the boy and his grandfather, and it's the whole thing with the grandmother that kind of makes things interesting. I'm kind of curious where that's going to go, where they're going to show up in Stillwater. So if you are a fan of the Stillwater series, Skybound 10 rather, issue 2 is definitely a book to pick up because it does feature a first appearance of, as they say, somebody who's going to become a major new character in the series. So definitely check that out. It's a good read too. It's a lot of fun. Also from Image, I picked up last week Silver Coin number 4. This one takes place in the future in the year 2467. Of course, everything that we have now is underground, blah, blah, blah. It's just typical, futuristic, post-apocalyptic stuff. What's interesting is the coin itself gets introduced late in the story, but also this story doesn't really have a definitive ending, which means that this is, as far as I know, this is going to be the first open-ended, we're only 4 issues into it, but this is the first open-ended story that we've gotten for Silver Coin, which means we can come back at any point in time and revisit this world. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. They have this really weird thing in here where the girl on the cover here, she can take this cover off of her eye, and these worms are in there. I'm assuming they're not real worms, like electronic worms, and there's a point in the story where they're holding this other guy down. The worms go into his eye, and that is how they keep track of their money. That's sort of like access to their bank account or something. She steals all of his money. So really good one. I think the next one is going to be taking place in like Pilgrim, Native American, like first Thanksgiving days or something like that. But this was another really fun read. Like I said, it's open ended. So if you're going to check this one out, don't expect to have a definitive ending to it. Again, I hope they do continue that storyline, and we get to revisit that world. From Boom, not only does it have a sweet cover, but we're kind of there. I think they're going to kind of Transformers this. And when I say Transformers this, I mean with IDW, their Transformers run, they had sort of rewritten the origins and the battle lines of the Autobots and the Decepticons, meaning we've always known of the heroic Autobots and the treacherous Decepticons, but in the IDW world, the Autobots were the oppressors, and the Decepticons were the downtrodden lower class that was just trying to live life to their fullest. Not sure how I feel. Actually, I know how I feel about it. I don't like it at all. There's no reason to change what has worked in terms of the storyline since they were introduced. Now, this one here, they're kind of, and it might be a plan. It just might be one of those schemes of Lord Zed, but he sort of planted the seeds that Zordon's people, I can't remember what they're called, but Zordon's people, we always know that Zordon has always been a good guy, but apparently, according to Zed, that's not actually how it is. That his people, Zordon's people, are actually more conquerors and will destroy planets that don't agree to join them and their quest for so-called peace. And Zed, he acknowledges, yeah, I'm evil. I'm just a nasty individual, but at least I'm honest about who I am. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this one goes. But aside from that, even if you don't like the storyline, that is a sweet cover. No doubt about it. But an interesting new layers being added to the Power Rangers mythology with this series, Mighty Morphin. It's been a lot of fun so far. Next up is going to be, not a whole lot I can say about this one, Bunny Mask. It's still dark. It's still twisted. This issue has a few has one problem that we get introduced to other characters. That it's not a very smooth transition from one group of characters to the next, but it's still an amazing series. The art is awesome. If you can get a hold of the first issue, if you haven't checked it out yet, I do recommend it. It's a lot of fun. It's got a sort of a Tales from the Dark Side vibe to it, where it's dark, but it's not overly scary. It's violent, but it's not overly gory. It's a very interesting read. I do recommend it. It's kind of hard to describe really what kind of a horror story it is, but it's slow. It's methodical. I mean, your Bunny Mask character. It's just an interesting look, in the art. I do really like the art in this. I hope. I don't know if Bunny Mask is a miniseries or an ongoing. I need to look into that, but I think the concept of Bunny Mask has legs. There's a lot that can be done with it, but I don't think that it could be done as an ongoing. I think Bunny Mask would probably work best as a series of miniseries and one-shots. They could expand the mythology, expand the world of Bunny Mask, through like bits and pieces, sort of like a puzzle, and just kind of put everything together at the end. So the last one I want to talk about from Aftershock, this is Beyond the Breach #1. This one here, we have our main gal character. I think her name is Vanessa. She just broke up with a boyfriend, and she found out he was sleeping with her sister. And while she's sort of having her breakdown at this whole thing, she's driving away. She's just going to go and be by herself for a little while, which is not a bad idea when that sort of thing happens. But there is this weird sort of effect that happens in this breach. The titular breach happens, and all of a sudden there's these weird bug-like, Lovecraftian bug-like creatures that are eating everybody, and they're going after her, and she winds up saving her, and there's these little furry little creatures that are, kind of running around as well, and she winds up saving this little boy whose parents were eaten by these creatures, and they're going after him. She saves him, and she winds up saving one of the little furry creatures, although I'm not quite certain why exactly. I mean, she seems to think that this furry creature is not going to eat her, whatever, but you have all this madness, all this chaos going on, and they finally slow down, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. And of course, the little boy wants to go and save his parents. He either doesn't understand that his parents are dead, or he's not willing to acknowledge it. He doesn't want to live in a world where he doesn't have his mom and his dad, which I do understand. So that's a very well written character, very well written perspective on that. But overall, this was a really, it's sort of hitting the ground running with this first issue, and I loved it. I mean, I was just very much enjoying it. I was absorbing as much of the story and as much of the visuals as possible. It's another one that has some really great art to it. It's Aftershock Comics. It's Beyond the Breach. Again, I don't know if this is a miniseries or an ongoing. If anybody out there knows, just same with the other book. Go ahead and comment down below. Let me know if these are a miniseries or ongoing. But these are some great reads. I'm telling you right now. Boom Studios, Aftershock, who's doing Bunny Mask? Aftershock is doing Bunny Mask. I mean, we've got some great books from some smaller publishers right now. These are two of my favorite ones. We've also got, Something is Killing the Children. We've got Silver Coin. I dropped it some time ago, but I understand that Once and Again, I think it's called, is also a really good series still. But some great stuff. So you don't need Marvel, you don't need DC anymore. You don't even really need Image, although Image is putting out a lot of really good stuff right now. So those are the books that I wanted to talk about last week. Now, before I get into the books that I picked up this week, set these bad boys down, I've got a Full Run Friday coming up again this week. So it actually was today that I made the decision on what to do, and it's because of Comic Shop News. They put this out. Of course, it's going to have Batman on it, but anybody who's been paying attention has heard in my opinion, the awesome, amazing, spectacular news that Fables is coming back. Now, Fables was one of my favorites and my longest running series I've ever collected. It's the first series that I ever picked up with issue 1. And it went to issue 100 and beyond. It actually wound up ending in issue 150. And I got all the spin-offs and all the specials and everything for it as well. So in September, DC, through their Black Label imprint, since they no longer have Vertigo, which is a travesty of justice in and of itself, but Bill Willingham, the creator of Fables, is coming back, and they're going to start doing a miniseries? a 6-issue miniseries where Bigby Wolf from Fables ends up in Gotham, and it's going to be called Batman versus Bigby, A Wolf in Gotham. Comes out in September, towards the end of September. So that coupled with the news that once that miniseries ends, we are getting 12 new issues of Fables. And the best part is they're not starting from issue 1. It's going to be continuing the numbering. So we're going to get Fables number 151. Actually, since it's 12 issues, we're going to be getting up to 162. And if they keep doing this sort of thing, we could end up with issue 200 of Fables, which would be awesome. But that aside, because of this announcement and because I so love Fables, Full Run Friday this week is going to be Fables. Now, last week I did the Silver Surfer, and the Silver Surfer was close to 150 issues. And that was probably about a half an hour. I do apologize for the length on that. I still hope that people who watched it enjoyed it for what it was. Fables was a 150 issue run. I'm not going to do Jack of Fables or Ferris or Ever After or the Cinderella miniseries or the Literals miniseries. Those are going to be separate videos. But I'm going to do Fables. It's going to be another long one because there's a lot of them. And also some of the cover art, actually most of the covers in that series had some amazing art. And I have a hard time myself just flipping through that series and just going past certain covers. Or certain covers are just so beautiful, just so gorgeous. So tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Full Run Friday is going to be Fables. An amazing series, so much fun. I cannot wait to return to this world of all these characters. I'm so excited about it. I'm probably going to end up rereading the original run of Fables just because I cannot wait. This is so exciting. Such amazing news. Anyway, let's wrap this up real quick. Here's the books that I picked up this week. I didn't have a whole lot of books this week. So here's what I picked up. X-Men Legends, number 5, standard cover. Little puzzle action going on there. Radiant Black, number 6. Still enjoying this book. I really am curious to see where the series is going to go. Power Rangers, number 9. And the one that I'm not going to read because I don't really like the art and I don't really care for the story, but I love these covers. Godzilla, Monsters and Protectors, the photo cover with a little Godzilla Millennium action there. Gotta love it. So that's it. As I say, that's what I picked up. That's what I got this week. So again, thanks for watching. As always, please hit that like button. Give me a comment down below. Subscribe, notification button, all that fun stuff. Tomorrow I will have Full Run Friday up and running. It's going to be Fables. I cannot wait to share some of these covers with you guys and gals out there because it's some amazing stuff. If you've never read Fables, it's definitely a book. It's available in individual trade paperbacks. They've got compendiums. They've got it's in different forms. So if you don't want to get it one way, you could definitely get it another. And it's definitely a series that's worth reading. And then once you get into all the spin-offs and tie-ins, it's just this nice epic world that Bill Willingham and his creative teams have created, and just so much fun. But that's going to be going live tomorrow, Friday, 3 p.m. Thank you for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for your continued support. And I will see you tomorrow and then next week with another round of new comic books to talk about, rant and rave and all that fun stuff. Have a good night.